general, it's a very wonderful city. It's rapidly developing. There is quite a lot of significant changes occurring. There is a lot of people coming in from the outside and things like this. But in general, one of the things that you notice is that there is a lot of physical development, but perhaps the human side is left behind. This is always a struggle that happens in many of the new places like Ouarzazate, that sometimes you have physical development first more than the human development. However, in most progressive countries, the balance is achieved, or even put the people first beyond the physical development, because eventually it's the physical development happens only when people fully supports it. In the case of Ouarzazate, you can see some buildings that are being constructed but still to be populated. While this is good in terms of human development and human urban programming and urban planning, you have also to understand that a lot of things can happen while we are still in this stage. One, of course, and the most important thing is that distance between a few number of people in the city is still massive. You still have to cover quite a lot of distance. And as you create a lot of new buildings here and there, you even create more boundaries and more hurdles to make people connect and work together. So these are the things that Warsat will have to be facing in the future. How it can make distance work for its own benefit rather than disadvantage is a major challenge that you have to look into. You have to look at transport, the difficulty that people will have to have when they move from one place to another. Fortunately for Warsasat, this time we already have the internet in place, and a lot of things can possibly happen. But still, density will have to be a major concern. The less and less, the more and more distance we create will separate people rather than unite them. It's in having a good mixture of, or the depth of distance, so that you can cut distance, that would make a lot of developments, and that would catalyze development in this city. So I hope that we can do something about this. The topic that we have here is called Reach Your Confidence. I'm 99% sure that many of you who started in Warsasat will not be here in another 10 years, right? You will be in Fez, in Rabat, Casablanca, maybe outside Morocco, maybe in the Middle Eastern region, MENA region. Then after that, maybe elsewhere. If you're very, very entrepreneurial, like I used to tell my students, you are going to be in China. I will repeat, you will be in China. And since Moroccans speak 4 languages, I'm sure one more language is okay, right? Chinese. Okay. I will divide my presentation into 3 parts. Actually, I called it Confidence in Ouarzazate, a movie in the making. Okay? So let's for those of you who are in the filmmaking, and I think some of you who are in filmmaking here. No? You are one? Who else? Nobody else? Oh, good. You are all afraid to show that you're taking filmmaking course. Filmmaking is nice. Okay. All right. So I will have 3 topics. First part is you are the star. Second part is Warsasat is the stage. And the third part is what can we do with the Warsasat and you together. Okay? All right. So part 1, let's go through it as fast as we can. You are the star. You are the most important person. You are always a winner. Sometimes you win. Sometimes you make others win. So there are two things here that you can immediately see. Maybe you are the source of the idea, or maybe you are not the source of the idea, but you are somebody else, but can help other people succeed. Okay? Yeah. All right. Oops. The big oops. I always like this word so much because it tells us that something has changed. So guys, suddenly the world has changed. When we walked around Marrakesh before, they always see me as somebody who is from Asia, and so they ask, Japan, Japan, Japan. Are you from Japan? The other one is Chinese. Are you Malaysians? And so on and so forth. So a little bit of change that has happened. The tourists that normally come to Morocco now are no longer the usual tourists, for example, but maybe, and increasingly, you're going to be having people like Asians and Chinese. And interestingly, some of these people are not yet cared for as of the time for the time being. Very few Chinese restaurants in Morocco. Is there one in Ouarzazate? Mm-hmm. That's already something. To an entrepreneur, that's already an opportunity in the making. Everybody, I'm sure, would like to taste how it is to have a Chinese food, right? But there is none yet, so that's an opportunity, okay? All right, so the world has changed. There has been so many changes in the world today. When I was here in Ouarzazate, I finished a credit in Stanford University, 3 units, and I can convert that into an actual unit if I want to study in Stanford, all for free. So I took the course, 3 hours times 6, so 18 hours. So while I was teaching our young people here, I'm also studying in Stanford at the same time. Can that be done? Yes, it can be done now. And by the way, Stanford courses now are free. If you don't know, 800 to 900 courses are already loaded on the internet for free. Harvard and MIT is Massachusetts Institute of Technology, is combining and coming up with edX, Education Extreme, also for free, and they are going to be offering another 2,000 courses. There is another guy who's just an ordinary guy. He started a business when he was 28 years old because his cousin would like to ask him for mentoring in mathematics. So he started a small company and he called it Khan Academy because he assembled all the videos in mathematics, and now he's one of the richest person in the world. Education has changed. You can study it anywhere you are, and you can take it for free. Languages is also free, right? Right? Yeah, you can take Duolingo, Chinese in Duolingo. Do they have now? I think they will soon have. So you can have it on your mobile phone, and then you can study anywhere in the world. I am very proud of my secretary, who is for 22 months now. I have not met face to face, but she is my secretary, and I'm paying her all the time because she's just doing anything I want by email. We don't see each other, and there has been still no secretary like that in the world. But you can now do that even anywhere you are in the world. So the world has changed, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm very happy that you young people are able to see that, but the older generation of Ouarzazis have not seen that, have not felt it, and maybe it will be impossible for them to see that world. Technological development of people is still not well developed. There is still quite a lot of things we will need to do to encourage people to participate in economic development, to participate in social development. And right now, I'm so eager as a result of our workshop and conference on reaching confidence. I kind of felt that we should be much more encouraged to create a creative economy, much more than the usual economy where you have manufacturing, agriculture, and so on. But maybe we can make a much bigger contribution if we can look into creative economy. Ouarzazate is a place for films and for people who are creative in their own rights, and I'm sure there is quite a lot of stories to tell from Ouarzazate that needs to be uncovered and retold to the world and shown in a different perspective and in different lights. So I think this is something that we could look into. and for also for Ouarzazate people to be much more proud of what they have, and don't be shy, and keep it to themselves, and just wait for other people to take them away. Some of these nice stories, cultural objects, and things like this that are available here in Ouarzazate may just disappear in the future if we don't care, or we are not proud of them. So I think it's about time that Ouarzazate opens itself, be much more confident in the things they have. He wants to change the world, but nobody wants to change. That's a problem. That's a problem. And I put the school as one of the culprits of this. School is one of the biggest problem, because the school is the one that perpetuates the old and do not allow this change to happen. A lot of change has already taken place. A typical school in the Philippines would have the students working together, finding their own partners, and then on the third year of their baccalaureate, you say baccalaureate, they're already starting their own business. And then when they go to the fourth year, they have already their own business. They don't take thesis and dissertation seriously already, because I mean, between the dissertation and a business, which one do you like? So they go into business, and then when they graduate, they are already in business, and they don't look for jobs. The schools taught you everything except you. You know, that's the problem. They teach you everything except you. When I was in engineering, one of the most interesting thing there is called Pythagorean theorem. Have you heard of this? Pythagorean theorem, where you analyze the hypotenuse of a of a certain triangle, two lines. Whew! Up to now, I have never earned a single centime by learning Pythagorean theorem. Never. Maybe I will make something when I make an application, but not yet. Anyway, the school teach you everything except you. You. We have to look at you and allow you to become you. Right? And then we can be able to talk about what you can and cannot do, what you can and cannot learn inside the school. But before that, before focusing on the you, it will be very difficult for the school to be relevant in today's world. Yeah, there are two kinds of people, as you very well know. One is on that side, very creative. Then the other one is on this side, very scientific. Right? Where are you? Yes. I like your answer. In the middle. Whoa. Yeah. It's funny, but the world has changed, as I told you. In the beginning, we had administrators, managers, MBAs, MBAs, managers by accident. Whatever happens, they will just be accidents anyway. Then they become managers. There are people who are general practitioners and so on, lawyers, engineers, accountants, etc., etc. They are more on this side. What the world needs now are those kinds. Those kinds. Unfortunately, it is very difficult to develop this kind of brain. If you allow the people who develops the brain, the professors who develop this brain on this side, to develop the brains on the other side, you must be kidding. That is the wrong kind of people. So it's very difficult now to teach. It's very difficult to do learning in most of the universities. Also, the universities are having that kind of pressure because the professors they have are not ready for this new kind of learning systems. Who told you that you are you? I guess I did that today. But, but ladies and gentlemen, after you get out of the college, after you earned your baccalaureate, you're on your own and you are you. Whatever you are. If you do not say, I am like this, society will tell you who you are. And so before that happens, it's better that you are you. You have something to tell the society rather than society will tell you what you are. So who can tell you who you are? Only one person, and that's you. So believe in yourself. Isn't it time you started to do what you love? In my courses, we always ask people, what do you love? What do you love to do? I know that you can become an engineer, you can become a pilot, you can become a filmmaker, a videographer, whatever, whatever. But is this what you like to do? I have a friend, a very good friend. He's a medical doctor, thoracic surgeon. But he loves music. So he is now doing more music than doctoring. I'm sure there is a connection somewhere that he will be able to find somehow. But not now. He's just loving music. Is he still practicing as a doctor? Once in a while, 1 or 2 hours a day. But can you imagine the investment he had on education? Quite a lot. Big mistake. It's better that you start already on the right track rather than moving from one place to another. Life isn't about finding yourself. Life is about creating yourself. So here the word creating is very interesting. It's just that this creating business is done by other people but not by you. This time you have to start to take the responsibility into your own hands and to recreate and recreate and recreate yourself. Design your own job. Never apply for a job. Make your own job. Go to a place, observe, and then after you have observed a place, see the operations, look at the operations, and then talk to the person in charge. Maybe I can help you save $10,000 per month. Then something interesting pops out. If you can really come up with a savings of $10,000 a month. Can you do that? Yes. Can they do that? No, because they are already part of the system. They will never want to change. But you can, because you are not part of the system. So there is something new or something that you don't know, that they know, that is missing. And this missing piece can be something that is a key to another business, another process, a website, an application, etc., etc. Design your own jobs. Do not apply for a job that wasn't made for you. Are we together? Yes. Design a job for you. Do not try to apply for a job that is not for you or not designed for you. Simplest answer is the mountain. Somebody told us that perhaps one of the things that we can do is to remove the mountain. But seriously, there are many things that are happening in Ouarzazate. It's creating what I call a competitive advantage, and of course one of the most important competitive advantage that it has right now, besides the movie industry, is the renewable energy. People are coming into Ouarzazate, students are coming into Ouarzazate so that they can learn more about renewable energy and its science, its engineering, its skills requirement and the skill sets that it offers, etc., etc. This attracts a lot of people from Casablanca, from Rabat, Marrakech, etc., etc., to come and stay here. How do you think the Ouarzazate will feel about the presence of these people around them who are much more sophisticated in their tastes and perhaps even much more competent in terms of other things like internet and ICT technologies? So they are there. I should advise the Oursasis that they should not be shy about this, and this is still their place, and that they should welcome this possibility and try to look into the differences and learn from them. Being shy is a negative tendency that would have long-term repercussions. So the best way is to be positive about it, look at it, the change has come, and that it will continue to happen. And as Ouarzazate grows and grows and grows, the interest for Ouarzazate increases and development starts to take hold. I'm sure more and more people are coming. Investors are going to be different. Foreigners are going to be different. Right now, there is a shift in tourism from Europeans to maybe Asians and Chinese and Japanese, South Koreans, and so on. All of this will start to invade Ouarzazate. And Ouarzazate was a lonely little town in the 1930s, but right now it will have to be more and more global. And that's a big challenge for the Ouarzazes. You stay close, shy, and the change will not take hold. You will be swept away. But if you accept the change, learn from it, take it positively, I'm 99% sure you will be able to come out better and much more dynamic in the future. Yeah. This is Ouarzazate, your stage. Let's look at it a little bit. Is Ouarzazate your stage? Is that going to be where you will put your life? You will say, I will stay, I will be an Ouarzazate. Or are you going to go around the world? The world is so big. And it's so nice there. There are so many things to see, so many things to feel, so many things to eat, so many things to experience. Yeah, very nice. So is Ouarzazate your stage? For those of you who are not yet convinced, maybe I will convince you a little bit. What is Ouarzazate for you? Why is it that you haven't considered it a place to put your stake? This is mine. It has lots of messages, but the audience is still limited. Lots of messages, it has a lot of everything, but the audience is still limited. People come here, and they say that Ouarzazate is an enclave. It's a very small place surrounded by mountains, right? Yeah, so if we remove the mountains, Ouarzazate will be so nice. Mumkin. All right. Who will help you set the stage? You, your friends, your networks, the world. If you look at again the model that is operating right now for employment purposes and for the youth, flexibility is very important. The more flexible you are, the better it will be. You have to have dynamic team structure. What it means is that when you graduate in school, do not graduate alone. There must already be a group that you can be working with and stay on that group until 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. Stay with that group and work together with that group as if you are running a business of that particular group. Then you have office location and human condition. I told you already that the world has changed. You can work here, but you can deliver the results elsewhere. You can be a consultant here, but you are doing the consulting work in France, in New York, etc., etc. If you make the right connection. Can you make the right connection? Sure. During the old times, all these tourists are having a network that they were able to establish even without internet. Now that there is internet, you can even do that faster, better, and more agile. So then you have electronic teammates is very important. Have as much electronic teammates as possible. I'm 99% sure everybody is on Facebook, right? Everybody, I could just see smiles all over. Yeah, good, good. Yeah, but Facebook is just one. There are still so many possibilities out there that you can try. And some of you might be so bored also with Facebook. Then you look for another one, start creating another one, and so on and so forth. Good. And then personal data base and data agents makes life better. Always maintain that. Ouarzazate is a great theater. Let us all make it as one. That we introduced earlier in this discussion about physical and human aspects. It is true that as of the present moment, you cannot expect too much from Ouarzazate. We have to have quite a lot of things in Ouarzazate to be able to make Ouarzazate a very interesting place. We need, as I said in the conference, we need a T-shirt about Ouarzazate. We need some symbols about Ouarzazate. We need some Ouarzazate food. We need quite a lot of things from Ouarzazate, which, if you consider Ouarzazate as a terrain, an ordinary terrain, it will only be attracting tourists. But I think Ouarzazate in the future should not only rely on tourists and should not only try to attract tourists. But if you start thinking about Ouarzazate as a brand, the container becomes bigger. It goes beyond this small piece of land that we have, most of which will be desert, some of which are spots of oasis here and there. But if you look at Ouarzazate as a brand, then you can contain so many interesting ideas inside Ouarzazate. Its culture, its stories, its people, its very unique socio-cultural patterns, and so on and so forth. And as such, you can be able to create a lot of objects that hitherto are not here today. Most of the objects that we have are still from the old days. We have our artisans who might still be able to do things here and there that are priceless, that are of value. But still, the world keeps on going, and the world keeps on asking for more and more interesting stuff, things of value, things that are unique. And I think Ouarzazate has something to contribute in this area. So I hope that in the future, Ouarzazate will not only be a piece of property, a piece of land, a place where people can go, but but something beyond a place, a mental concept that gives you something much, much more than what it really have physically.